UFC 318 is turning out to be a banger of a card, man. Dana White was not lying. He's made some few changes, and the main card is starting to look very, very juicy indeed. We've got Mr. Michael Johnson coming up against Daniel Zaluba. I'll be honest, I don't really know who he is. Dan 50k, Ike 50G's Ike, whoever you want to call him, versus the former Bellator champ Patricio Pitbull. Kevin Holland versus D-Rod. Good fight there as well. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopilov. I don't know if I butchered that name. Please let me know if I did. I don't really care. And then we've got Dustin's retirement fight. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3. For most of you that weren't aware, these two have had their scrap early on in their careers. Max fought him when he was only 20 years old. He was still a little kid. And he lost via submission. And then they had another fight in, I think, 2019 when McGregor was suspended. But that is not the topic of this video. What we're talking about here today is the fights, who I believe will win in each of these fights and how I think they'll win. Starting off with, probably going to work our ways from the bottom up top. We've got Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zaluba. Like I said earlier, if I'm being absolutely honest with you guys, I don't really know who Daniel is. I know he's an up-and-coming Mexican guy. He's, 26? Young fella. So he has a point to prove against a proper veteran of the sport. Lightweight gatekeeper, Michael Johnson. Now, Michael's a really unique fighter. Funny fella, man. His fight against Khabib is always, but is etched into my brain, man. What a fight. Khabib was just telling him, bro, you should tap. Hey, brother, I deserve this. You tap out, brother. You tap out. And then Johnson he's silent. He's silent. He's scared. He's whatever's going through his mind. I don't know. But that's what always goes through my mind when I think of Michael Johnson. He's one of the weirdest fighters. He's the worst fighter to ever grace this beautiful sport of MMA, because you can see him getting an impressive win over someone like Dustin Poirier, and then he'll lose to some next ranked. He's not even ranked top 15, and that just sums up the career of Michael Johnson. Really interesting fella. What a character as well. He has a good character, chill guy. I enjoy his fights. It's always entertaining to watch. But it's hard for me to comment on this because Daniel's someone I've never really heard of before. So I hope Michael Johnson gets the job done. He's a veteran of the sport, lightweight vet. So who doesn't want one of their own to come up with a victory? So there's that. Open up the main card. Moving on to Dan 50k Ige. Dan 50k Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. Now we all know Dan got an impressive win over that lanky fella, what's his name? Sean Woodson. That the body proportions on that fella is very, very interesting, because I don't know how you can make 145 pounds with those body proportions, with that build. It's insane to me. I feel like he should be fine at 155, bulk up a bit. But you know what? Hey ho, it works. So Dan's got an impressive KO win over him. And Patricio Pitbull, unfortunately, he's coming off a loss against Yair Rodriguez, but we do know Patricio is was a top contender in Bellator. I think he was a 2-division champion. Amazing fighter. I think his last fight with Yair Rodriguez was it was pretty lackluster. The fans weren't too happy. But I think this is a fight that could be slept on, that could potentially be fight of the night. Dare I say, fight of the night. I think if these two really get it going, Patricio has quite a bit of speed. Dan's got power as well. I mean, the Patricio's got quite a bit of power as well. At the end of the day, it's featherweights, the lighter divisions. They typically are more skilled than the heavier ones. So I like to see how this fight goes. If I had to pick one person to win, it's probably Dan, simply because he's quite younger. Does it show his age? Yeah, he's 33. Patricio is 38. He just turned 38 recently. And in the lighter divisions, your age really does show. So for that reason, and for his performance in his UFC debut, I'm going to have to say I'm going to root for Dan. Dan is solid. He's the younger guy by 5 years, which is quite a big margin, especially at featherweight. So purely for the age purposes, I'm going to go with Dan. I don't think Patricio is the man he once was. I think if this fight took place maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago even, it would be a comfortable win for Patricio, probably maybe by knockout in like the second or third round. But I said what I said. I think Dan, Mr. 50k Dan, is going to go out there and get the job done. Yeah, no, maybe, disagree, agree. I said what I said, man. With moving on to welterweight, Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland versus D-Rod. Excuse me. Now, Kevin Holland, the one moment that always plays in the back of my mind is when he says, "You're not about that life, kid. You're not about that life." When he's talking to Hamza in backstage before their fight took place. "You're not about that life, kid. You're not about that life. Stay on that side, kid." And I find it extremely amusing to say that to someone that's from Chechnya, someone that's from Russia, that has seen war, that has experienced difficulty from the get-go, and a man that lived in a bit of a rough neighborhood in America is saying that to Hamza, to the man that's from a war-torn country. Give it a rest, man. It's hilarious. I did see a little highlight. I saw a little TikTok video on it. Someone made an edit, and I saw this Kevin Holland thing, and it's just etched into the back of my mind, man. But regardless, Kevin Holland, I mean, he's openly stated he's not really interested in the belt. We all can collectively agree that he is not a championship or top 5 caliber fighter. He's there just to have fun fights, just to make a bit of money, a bit of dosh, and keep it going, keep it stepping. I respect it. There's nothing wrong with that. He just wants to be involved in some banger of a fight. So no hate towards him. Decent fella, decent chap. I don't think you could really dislike him. I know we saw his performance against Michael Page. He was getting visibly frustrated with Michael Page's taunting and little annoying moves, but we move on. Kevin Holland, coming off another win against Vicente Luque, which really shocked me. I didn't think Kevin had that in him to get I think Vicente Luque is a BJJ black belt. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then again, like Islam says, hey, brother, we'll give him this one. So if he does have a black belt, then as Islam says, who gave him? D-Rod, bit of an old fighter now. I think he joined the UFC in 2020? 2019, 2020. 38 as well, man. He's getting pretty old. He's nothing special. Okay fighter. I don't really tune in to watch his fights, I'll be honest. Gotta remember I'm from the UK as well. I have to be selective with some of the fights I watch. Sometimes I conquer and I wake up and I'm like, oh damn, I just missed that fight. D-Rod, he doesn't do anything that makes me go, wow, he's that guy. He's got a TKO win over Mr. Santiago, the Israeli supporter. But I won't go too much into that. So yeah, he's coming off a win. If I had to choose who's going to win, I'm going to say Kevin Holland, unanimous decision. I know it's a 3-round fight, so I think Kevin Holland will just do a little striking game as per usual, and he'll probably get the job done. I don't think I'm saying anything controversial here, am I, guys and girls, for anyone watching? Let's move on to the co-main. This is juicy now. We're getting to, it's not quite the steak part yet. This is, I'd say, it's a little juicy patty. 2 juicy patties maybe, yeah. Paulo the Eraser Costa versus Roman Kopylov. Now this fight, man, with certain fighters, you just remember certain things about them. And with Paulo Costa, I always remember what Izzy did to him, that celebration after the taunting, that was really nasty, man. I also remember his interaction with Hamza, the whole cap situation, taking someone's cap. Hamza apparently lost his cap. I don't know what that's all about. Bizarre. It doesn't really, I have no idea what happened there. If someone can fill me in with what happened with the cap, please do. Again, Paulo Costa, unfortunately, he's coming off a loss against Sean Strickland, former champ. He seems to be a bit inactive after his loss against Izzy. So when he lost to Izzy in 2020, he took quite big layoffs. He wasn't really serious. I don't know if that loss affected him, if the celebration and that taunt Izzy done on him had some sort of effect on his brain. But before that, he was literally the eraser. He was erasing his opponents. He got caught against Izzy. I think it was a right hand, right against the jaw. He fell down, ground a pound. And then Izzy done the dog thing celebration on him after. I think, and then he lost to, I think after that fight, he fought Luke Rockhold, beat Luke Rockhold, and then he lost to Sean, and then he lost to someone else. Who was it? That's embarrassing. How have I forgotten who he lost to? Paulo Costa. He lost to... No. This is Dustin Max 1. Paulo Costa record. How am I forgetting? This is embarrassing. He lost to Whittaker. I completely forgot about that. Oh, sorry. My brain is not working today properly, clearly. He lost to Vittorio after Adesanya. I completely forgot about that fight. That immovable Italian object. That org, if you want to say. How did I forget that fight? My brain, man. These 12-hour shifts are killing me. Sorry, that's disappointing for me. I should get my facts straight before I start this recording. But yeah, Paulo Costa, if you have a look here, seems to have taken... So he lost against Izzy in September 2020, then he fought again over a year later with Vittori, fought in 2022, then he took a year and a half off and he fought Rob again. Sorry, not again, but then he fought Rob, lost, and then a split decision against Sean Strickland. So, is he washed? No, he's still relatively young. He's 34. He still has it in him. How old is Roman, by the way? Roman is 34 as well. They're both 34. I'll be honest with Roman as well. I don't really follow his fights too much either. So same with D-Rod. I don't really know too much about Roman. I do know is that he got a split decision over Caesar, Mr. Caesar Almeida, however you want to say his name. But again, he's not someone that makes me go, wow, this is a fight that's really going to test Paulo Costa. I could be wrong. I could eat my words. But I think Paulo could, get the job done in 2 rounds. I think he could get a little cheeky head kick in, rock his opponent and go in with a 1-2, bow, ground and pound, game over, prime Paulo Costa's back. I like this fighter a lot. I like Paulo a lot. I enjoy his fights. He does live up to his name relatively, the Eraser. He's got an amazing Twitter handle. His tweets are hilarious for the most part. And that secret juice gimmick is pretty funny if you ask me. But yeah, I think Paulo can get this done in 2 rounds. I don't think this will go the distance. Now on to the main event. This is the creme de la creme. This is, you see that burger you've been saving. It's got a beef patty. It's got a bit of steak in it. Chopped up steak. It's got a crispy chicken breast in there. It's got that house sauce. Some fried onions, caramelized onions, cucumber, lettuce, tomato, all the good stuff. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3. Need I say more? Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. Now, I made a video on this a while ago saying that if Dustin does win this, I don't think he should retire. Because I think his style matches up well with Ilia Topuria. But we're not going to get into that. I might have to make another separate video to that one if Dustin does get the job done. These two were really young when they first fought. Dustin versus Max 1 took place at, what was it, UFC 143? Yeah. They were really, really young when they first fought, and obviously when you're younger, the age difference matters a lot more. Pause. I relax. I do not take that out of context. So Dustin was 23, Max 20. Obviously, back when you're still growing up, when you still haven't fully formed as an adult yet, those 3 years make a big difference. But we've seen now that Max has developed into an amazing fighter. So has Dustin as well. They both had phenomenal careers. I know Dustin's pretty much nearing towards the end of his career, hence why this is a retirement fight for him. Max Holloway, unfortunately, coming off a vicious knockout loss against Topuria. In my honest opinion, he had won the first 2 rounds as well, so he was doing pretty well. His first knockout loss ever in history of the UFC, in MMA for Max Holloway. So I don't know how he's going to do coming back off that knockout loss. I don't think it should affect him too much, seeing that as he doesn't spar, so he doesn't have too much CTE built in to his brain. So I think Max might be fine. The knockout shouldn't really have too much of an effect on him. His fights with Volkanovski, all 3 fights were amazing fights. Second fight was argued for Holloway, that he had arguably won, but look, let's not talk about that either. I mean, got the job done, 1 or 3. That's all that matters at the end of the day, doesn't it, mate? That's all that matters. Max has had an amazing career. I mean, I remember when he cleared out featherweight back in 2018, 2019, moved up to lightweight to take on Dustin, and unfortunately lost by unanimous decision. That was heartbreaking for all the Max Holloway fans. But I mean, I think I'd attribute it to his size. I think Dustin's just a heavier guy, stronger guy, and that clearly played a factor in the fight. Now with Dustin, he's coming off a vicious, I wouldn't say vicious, but he's coming off a Darkstroke loss to the champ, the pound for pound number 2, being moved down a ranking, Islam Makhachev. There's no shame in that. Went all 5 rounds, absolute war, really good fight, stunning fight actually. I really enjoyed it. It was enticing. I was surprised Islam didn't get the job done earlier, but he was also fighting a staph infection. Again, story for another day. And before that, his last win was against Benoit Saint Denis, which funnily enough, he was suffering from staph infection, which is possibly why Dustin was able to get the job done so quick. Regardless, relax. I still rooted for Dustin. I still believed he was going to beat Benoit Saint Denis. But yeah, this is I feel like this fight isn't being spoken about enough. And I wouldn't put Max as the retirement fight for Dustin. Yeah, cool. He could get the clean sweep, 3 wins against the phenomenal former featherweight champ. But I would have done this fight against someone like Dan Hooker, because back in lockdown, there was that banger fight as well. Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier was an absolute banger of a fight. They both went to absolute war. I think they left a piece of themselves in that cage. So I think the wisest choice here that could have been made is save Max for someone else. Save Max for... Who can I think? I was about to say Gaethje, but I know he got that brutal knockout win over Gaethje. Save Max for, I don't know, tell Aljamain Sterling come up to lightweight and make Holloway versus Aljamain Sterling. I want Aljamain Sterling to get hurt, man. Do something like that. Do a different matchup. I don't want Dustin fighting Max on his retirement fight, a fight that's extremely close. I want Dustin on the best chance of leaving on a win. So I think UFC dropped the ball on this one. I think Dustin versus Dan Hooker would have been a really good fight. But look, I'm not the matchmaker. I can try be the matchmaker, but that is Hunter and Dana and whoever else's job that is. I think this is a really good card. I'm excited for this. July 17th. No, I'm looking at it right now. See, these 12-hour shifts are killing me, man. Sunday, 20th of July. So we're not too long away. We're 11 days away. Less than 2 weeks. I'm looking forward to this fight. Guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you, listening to you. I mean, if you guys to be listening to me, as always, please push the like button, subscribe. It helps push my content out. I'm still relatively new, still trying to get my content up and going, Thank you guys for listening. Enjoy the rest of your evening, day, night, afternoon, wherever you may be. Have that morning cup of coffee. If you don't drink coffee, you're a weirdo. And take care.